All right, and welcome YouTube to our weekly Wednesday live stream. We do it every week. Once again, today we're live streaming from the galactic core region. You may hear a bit of a rumbling. You hear that rumbling sound? Don't worry, folks, you're not at warp speed. There's not an earthquake happening, it's just the rumble of good old Sagittarius A star. If you're frightened of it, leave us a comment. And leave us a comment regarding whatever you want to talk about. We'll do a news crawl. We'll do all kinds of things. We'll be streaming until at least 3 p.m. Assuming all goes according to plan. Let's hope it does, as it's usually a good plan. Here's some tracks and some footage of the closest star to hold you over till I get back, which will be momentarily. All right, so I am back to close out the bumper music here. Chillin' at the galactic core. And yeah, how are all of our viewers doing? Let us know in the comments what you're into. By the way, if you're wondering why we always pick on CBS News, there's a reason why we pick on CBS News. It is because CBS News is the original admitted fake news source. In other words, when Walter Cronkite came out of the fake news closet and said, "Hey everybody, I was covering the Vietnam in a biased way the entire time because of some sort of, political agenda, or for whatever reason, Walter Cronkite did not objectively report on the Vietnam War." So, if you weren't aware of this, congratulations. You realized that our channel exists, probably, as this is a YouTube exclusive at the moment. But yeah, CBS News is the original fake news. And if you try to suffer through an episode of 2020, I mean, look, please go ahead, try to view a full episode of 2020. If you don't hear some nonsense in that broadcast, I'll eat my hat. By the way, today's hat says Mensa, which stands for Make Earth Not Suck Again. You can find links below the video to pick one up yourself. It's also on shirts and all kinds of things. I'm not sure if it's on a clock. I don't think it's on a clock. And by the way, for everybody who's got custom merch requests, if there's something that we've created merch for that isn't on the sort of media that you like, let us know. Perhaps we'll list it. It's been done before. We've done requests on videos. We've done requests for merch. And yeah. So let us know in the comments if you're frightened of Sagittarius A-star, if you think it's going to murder you in the coming day or year because you've been watching too much nonsense and crap on YouTube. Let us know in the comments about that. Tell us all about it. We want to hear all of your science about how the sun and or the galactic core is going to kill you. We think it's cute. And by the way, the reason that we have entitlement in the title of the video, it's not just to be ironic, folks. No, it's not to be ironic. It's actually because we're going to be talking to Eugene, Mr. Bagashov from Minsk, Belarus, about entitlement, his views on it. We did absolutely nothing to write the episode. We just agreed that we would talk about entitlement, and I made fun of Bill O'Reilly freaking out and said, "We'll do it live! Fine, F it! Effing thing sucks!" That's my favorite Bill O'Reilly clip. I'm not anti or pro Bill O'Reilly. I just love that clip. And you know, one of the things that let's go to camera 2 here. There we go. A nice view of Cygnus here. Of course, you know, I'm green screen, so this is anyway. So yeah. All right. Anyway. Also, we'll be doing shots today. There'll be shots not of this, but of things like this. My product-facing skills. You can tell I've never been in NASCAR. There you go. Club soda and orange soda. Yeah, I'm going deep, folks. And if you're a health food junkie and you're concerned about the high fructose corn syrup in one of these, you are a legit junkie. I don't know what else to say. Okay, so yeah, we'll be giving Eugene a call on Skype eventually if we see him online. He did indicate he was recording a video, so he may get into a long rant himself. And I don't blame him, as there's a lot of stuff to rant about. So, some big-time activity kicking off, and it looks like we just saw some flaring just recently out of 2867 here. That's that active region, sunspot 2867. And let's continue on. In fact, let's since we talked about CBS News so early and how it's the original fake news, let's just go straight to that while we're on that sort of tangent. Here's the here's the header from hell. By the way, if you use Opera browser and have the ad blocker turned on, you just press refresh. You'll get rid of all that crap. There's Muppet Jen Psaki. What is a Muppet that's controlled by a what is a puppet that's controlled by another puppet? Is it an empty suit, or is it no? I think it. What is it like when you're being controlled by an empty suit? Let us know if you're working for a corporation that is currently a giant empty suit traveling on inertia instead of anything resembling competence. Let us know if you know of a competent business. I may be available to work for them in the coming year. Yes, it's true, folks. It's true. I'll be on the, quote, job and, quote, market. Yes. I'll be, quote, available, end quote, starting November 10th. So congratulations to me. Now, by the way, I don't know if you're aware of this. I actually left society Cut back to the Sagittarius A cam, will you? I left society last May and made sure that I had a fortress at the galactic core because it's crucial to have enough radiation around you to get rid of the interference. You may have noticed a bunch of interference as, of course, this is a YouTube exclusive, so I'm sure you've noticed quite a bit of interference. And we're not going to put your chats on the screen while I have the CBS News homepage up there, as that would be disastrous. We will put your chats on the screen momentarily, though. And I don't think I'm going to read a single one of CBS News' headlines today in celebration of things like independence. So yeah, CBS News, it's the official, original fake news source. At least Walter Cronkite came out and admitted it. He probably had a conscience. I'm not so sure about that. Probably just had a conscience. By the way, do you follow us on Twitter? We put all of our videos on Twitter. It's one of the many ways we notify people that we put up content, as we have suspicions that for some reason there's mysteriously missing content on people's feeds. I can't imagine what could be causing it. I mean, maybe it's caused by algorithms. I don't know. I'm not totally sure on that, but there are many reasons to follow us on Twitter. We do put up a notification before we go live for every Wednesday. So here was last week. That salute was actually to Admiral Levine. Once again, congratulations, Admiral Levine. Swing low, sweet chariots. Let us know in the comments if you trust Admiral Levine to make health decisions for you, or cover a halfback on a flat pass route, or perhaps a crossing route. Do you trust Rachel Levine to drop into coverage and cover a tight end in a crossing route? That's the real question. Because it's a linebacker joke, folks. If you don't get American football, you won't understand it. By the way, shout out to our international viewers. Part of the reason why we're wearing a Mensa hat is because we want to make Earth not suck again. And we recognize that while America probably is currently leading the way in this category, there's a lot of suppression of actual news on the news constantly. By the way, we're just 1 week after a significant high-speed wind. Shout out to Erica Palmerio. Cheers. One of the many accounts that we follow on Twitter who haven't been banned for putting up nonsense. Now, of course, I know a lot of people have been banned from Twitter for putting up nonsense, and some who've been banned from Twitter for putting up the truth. What do you think about that? What do you think about big tech censorship? Do you think it might be self-destructing a little bit? Or is it just my imagination? Would you like to attempt to gaslight me and suggest that big tech isn't self-destructing? Because I think it's crucial for folks to understand the current state of affairs in the former nation of the United States, now banana republic, since 2016, which brings me back to the rant that I started on. The U.S. became a banana republic in 2016. Now, you could make the argument that it's not, because one of the definitions of a banana republic is it has to be a small country, but it certainly has all of the other features. Now, the U.S. isn't really considered a small country. You know, countries like Sweden have like 10 million people in them. Those are what you'd call small countries. The U.S. less so. And I will get back to your chats momentarily here. Nay forgot to buy beer again. What an irresponsible prick. I mean, what? Oh, you do have beer. Okay. Well, thank goodness. I was very concerned. Which reminds me that it's time to do a shot. So I'm going to go deep here. I'm going to go deep, and I'm going to create a mixed drink before your very whatevers. Cut back to space. I said cut back to there we go. So yeah, check it out. I'm going deep today. I'm doing the half sun-kissed orange soda and half club soda. It's a demonstration of a drink that tastes better than soda because soda is way too sweet. It should be diluted to about half strength. Then it's actually refreshing. Cheers. Let us know if you're in a part of the country where they call soda pop. That is the strangest thing. When I was young and we went to Niagara Falls, hoagies were referred to as grinders. And I thought that was crazy. So back to my Twitter feed. I'm just scrolling up here to allow folks to see what we've been talking about. If you're on Twitter, and you should be, you should follow Jeffrey A. Tucker. He is a writer for, is it Reason Magazine? Reason.com, I think it is. The libertarian web ring that includes things like YouTube pages and so on. Have you been seeing our meteorology segments? Have you seen our BitChute exclusives? Oh well, it's neither here nor there. Facebook did not remove content with the phrase, "Let's go Brandon." Now, I would never say, "Let's go Brandon." I was just reading the thing. I would never sit here and say to you, the viewer, "Let's go Brandon." That would be wrong because I don't even know Brandon. And look, I don't know why there's so much encouragement for Brandon. Was it the guy that won that NASCAR race? I don't know. But whoever it is, I'm not going to just be like, "Yeah, let's go Brandon." I mean, what if Brandon is into torturing puppies to death, for example? I mean, just hypothetically speaking, I would never bring up anything like that, like in the real sense, of course, because who would do something like that? I'm sure that can't be a thing. So anyway, whoever this Brandon guy is, we hope that he's just a good, moral, ethically sound guy who doesn't commit fraud and doesn't promote disinformation. That's what I'm hoping Brandon is and does. So if assuming that's the case, I would be just as encouraging as everybody else. Can somebody verify if two different songs were in first and second place on iTunes, both with the same title, by different artists, with the title of "Let's Go Brandon"? Again, I would never say that because I don't even know Brandon. Like, I went to school with some guys called Brandon. Their last name, two brothers, Matt and Chad Brandon. I remember those guys. But certainly not. I doubt that. I don't think they're just saying like to the whole family. That wouldn't make any sense. So anyway, whoever this guy is, we hope that he is. We hope that all the encouragement is like well founded and well curated, and we hope that Brandon gets whatever Brandon deserves. Yep. So yeah, may the best one go, or something. What would Tom Cruise say? Show me the something or other. All right, so let's get back to my Twitter here. By the way, my comment was, anybody who believes this is as idiotic as whoever's on Facebook's board, and even dumber people, Facebook's investors. Because at least Facebook's board is profiting from fraud and disinformation. Its investors, how's the stock price been working out lately? By the way, we've been calling Fauci a fraud since December, when he admitted to the New York Times that he committed fraud regarding vaccine herd immunity requirements. So, did you finally catch up? It took you a year, if that's the first time you heard me talk about it. Enough that we made entire songs and memes, and we sell products that have the face of evil Dr. Fauci on the products. So yeah, do I have to say I told you so? All right, there, I said it. Are you happy? Are you happy? Pardon those noises, by the way. Those are Skype sounds. So Kimberly, if you could please shut up. I'm trying to do a live stream here. Just kidding, Kimberly. By the way, well wishes for Kimberly. Everybody, please wish Kimberly the best. Keep Kimberly in your prayers. Take a crystal ball and stare into it and send Kimberly whatever quantum field stuff she needs. Using the internet, folks. Did you know that big tech can't break the internet, but the internet can break big tech? Were you aware of this? Were you aware that I like to talk in a stilted fashion for absolutely no reason? And go from very serious to very silly with absolutely no warning. Did you see our space weather video where we talked about the interstellar chimney? What if I play a clip? You'll have to do that yourself at youtube.com/smashamash/playlists. Last I checked, there are like 850 videos in the Daily Space Weather playlist. So you may want to check it out. I don't know. All right, so I don't know if I should I call Kimberly? Leave us a comment. Let us know if I should call Kimberly on Skype just out of the blue. She may not even know that we're streaming. Maybe that would be fun. Let us know in the comments if you want me to call Kimberly on Skype. I'll just do it and warn her immediately to put her clothes back on, and that we are currently streaming live to YouTube. Haha, just kidding, folks. Just kidding, folks. We need the views. Ha 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 ha. As if we'll get them by doing any possible thing. Ah, she knows Brendan's, but no Brandon's. Oh, large quake, the second largest at La Palma. Another mid-4 magnitude, a 4.8 magnitude, a high 4 magnitude quake. And just bear with me here, folks. I need to read the chats a bit. What did he say? He tried to watch CNN and MSNBC and he couldn't handle 2 minutes. Yeah, how long until you got to hear some nonsense? By the way, folks, let me bring up a fact that I shared with my own doctor. Yeah, I actually have a doctor. He's a guy that's about 5 years younger than me, and I really like him. The only problem is that his office requires people to wear masks, which is, well, I won't express my opinion on YouTube because I wouldn't want to get the video demonetized for it. But anyway, you got to wear masks to go to the thing. And so that, of course, has led to some, shall we say, tension in the office. And I only had to go one time just to get cleared to go back to work because I broke my foot like a month ago. And I just kind of recovered it on my own because there's nothing to do for a broken foot anyway. And I've had many fractured and badly broken bones throughout the years. So I'm well aware of how all of this stuff works. And I don't know where the hell I was going with this, but I just got completely lost in my tangent. So yeah, let us know in the comments if you want me to call Kimberly in Australia. It's like 5 in the morning there or something. I think it's 4:30 a.m. there, I want to say. So I will take into consideration any votes made in the comments. And by the way, if you hear that white noise you hear that white noise? Oh, it sounds pretty cool, right? I'll actually show you how to make your own later in the video. Again, if all goes according to plan. All right, so just bear with me here one quick minute, folks. All right, yes, certainly send a vibrator from the beach to Kimber. Wait. Oh, send vibes. All right. I don't see any votes to call Kimberly. Kimberly, you have gotten the thumbs down. You've gotten the pocket veto from our viewers today. So, thanks a lot, viewers. That's real nice. That's real nice. pocket vetoing the call to Kimberly. How dare you? How dare you? By the way, if you know anybody who makes better thumbnails on YouTube, let us know. I mean, look at the DSW thumbnails there, the Daily Space Weather, the DSW, www.smashomash.com. By the way, what's up with this sociopath in New Zealand? Did you hear her statements?
If you are vaccinated,
that is what it is. So, yep.
So you basically said this is going to be like, well, it's almost like, you probably don't see it like this, the two different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated,
that is what it is. So, yep.
So
I love that. She seemed delighted about that. She's like, yeah, that's what it is. We've created two societies, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong, folks? Let us know in the comments what you think could possibly go wrong by creating a massive schism in society for no coherent reason. Anyway, I've made some memes about this sociopathic Prime Minister of New Zealand. I don't know what's going on in Oceania. Oceania is just, it's fun. And by the way, being on Twitter and not banned from it is fun also. Let us know who your favorite content creator is who's banned from Twitter. I love it when people who are really annoying pricks who try to gaslight others to try to cover up the fact that they're incorrect about science. I love when those people get banned from Twitter, yes. Now, I wouldn't ban them, but I think it's hilarious when they get banned. By the way, speaking of somebody who should be banned from planet Earth, do you know of anybody? Do you have anybody on your list of folks who should be banned from planet Earth? Any ideas? I mean, I heard that a wonderful and amazing society could be created on Mars. That society would certainly need a doctor. Anybody have any ideas? Anybody have any ideas about who could be the De Niro and the Pacino of the Mars missions? I got an idea. You could have a governor. You could have a doctor. You could have a scientist, Elon Musk. How about all three of them go to Mars and make a utopian society? It's great they could wear masks all the time while they're sleeping. Of course, I'm sure they're sterile, folks. I'm sure they're sterile. So there would be no concerns about royalty because saints don't pass on disease to other saints, right? Ah, the sweet nectar of Sunkissed. Sunkissed by Dr. Pepper Corporation. I'm just kidding, folks. I don't know. Who is it by? It's by 7-Up. Those Dr. Pepper, those bastards. Those sons of bitches at Dr. Pepper. All Dr. Pepper does is try to undermine RC Cola. Meanwhile, Canada Dry just sits around acting like it's Canadian. Hey, Smash staff. Get me a Canadian Dry. Or it's a beating. Yeah, another one. The reason you never see Smash staff on the videos is because she's chained to the wall until we have enough income via Google AdSense, Redbubble sales, and SmashoMash.com memberships to unchain her. Yeah, we're trying to get a locksmith. Somehow we just lost the combination and the keys to the manacles. So we've been really working on that. So please tell your friends and foes about the channel so we can unchain her from the basement wall. She has her laptop and stuff. Don't worry, she's fine. We hurl a can of Spam and split pea soup down every couple of days. We occasionally hear movement down there, so. And she's on the Wi-Fi, so I don't know what everybody's so worried about. Yeah, look at that. There's iTunes. See that? You see that? So man, that's a lot. That's a lot of support behind this gentleman, Brandon. And I'm not suggesting that the people who are so stoked about Brandon are unscrupulous or anything like that. I don't think that they're unscrupulous, folks. I think that they have the world's best interests at heart. Otherwise, why would so many people be saying, let's go Brandon? So if you know why, just let us know in the comments. Because, I mean, this is a fascinating thing. This is like, I mean, I'm seeing people selling shirts. And I'm hearing crowds chanting this and songs about this. I don't know what this movement is, but it's just infectious. And it's intoxicating. Intoxicating and infectious. Did you see? Was there something? I thought I saw a thing. I don't know. Anyway. So let us know what your favorite device baited chada is. Let us know what you're into when it comes to stuff that's baited chada. If you've been buying some great things on Amazon and at Walmart that are from chada because they made it all the way from a ship to a truck or train and then onto a truck and then to the just-in-time delivery location known as a store. I could chug it, but then I wouldn't be able to show you the cock glass. Everybody, take a sip from the cock glass. Or just whatever, better yet, whatever glass you have. Whatever tankard, whatever vessel you have. Let us know in the comments if you're drinking out of a human skull throughout the month of October. Oh my God! Why must you sneak up on me like that? And how do you get that label to stay there while you spin around like that? That's the craziest part. That's what I don't... Is that even... That looks like it might be some kind of different spike protein configuration to me. All right, and let's get back to the news here. I want to look up a stock quote. But first I'm going to scroll the rest of my Twitter. Yeah, I'm just scrolling a whole week of Twitter here just because I love it so much. It's just fantastic. It's fantastic from the galactic core, and it's fantastic as if it's a chore. Twitter, where you can say some things but not others. Yeah, you can say some things but not others. Certain facts are suppressed. Other disinformation is promoted. Yeah, if you say certain words, you'll get banned outright. Twitter, it's fun. Nobody knows what the rules are as they're applied differently to all users. Yes. Everybody make a Republican account and a Democrat account and see which one you can get banned first with the exact same posts. Just saying, folks. Just saying. Oh, look, the WHO. Check it out. We've got the Look, it's telling me like who Oppenheimer Stench Project follows, and it's showing me all kinds of fascinating things. Once again, let us know in the comments if you know anybody who puts up better thumbnails daily on YouTube. Our thumbnails are banging. Look at today's. That thumbnail freaking rocks. That thumbnail is berserk. Yeah, I didn't make the letters match the sun. I made them more yellowish blue, yellowish green than bluish green at 94 angstroms. Sagittarius A star, what do you have to say about this? Yeah, so we have to get to entitlement. And, oh, Eugene is now available. Let's give him a call.
Hello?
Hey, Eugene, we're coming at you live from the galactic core.
Oh shit, you have a delay on your screen. I mean, I'm watching your stream right now.
Well, of course there's going to be a delay, man. You got to turn down the volume on your computer or whatever.
I'm muted your stream so you could confuse the shit out of me.
So, folks, everybody, this is Eugene Bagashov of Minsk, Belarus. Thanks for joining us, Eugene. He's joining us for a little segment here about Entitlement. We did no rehearsal, and he's only appearing in audio format. We will plug his YouTube channel at the end of the video.
I actually even may have been in video, but my video, like my webcam, I think has died. Like the microphone is still alive because I'm talking through it right now, but the
Nice.
video is completely dead.
Ah.
Like I tried it yesterday and it didn't work. It just like it's the whole screen is white.
So
Like
is it
it's
software
short-circuited
settings or?
something. No, I think it's just dead. Like the device itself. I mean, I bought
That
it in
sucks.
2014, so
Well, you
it's
know, I got a 4K camera, man. It cost $60, I think, from Amazon. It's cheap Chinese junk, but it came with like a waterproof case and stuff. It's more than I need. If you've ever seen like the cycling videos I've been doing recently, those are all taken with a $60 camera. I mean, the technology is like I think it takes like 50 megapixel like photographs or something. It's berserk. The controls are crap. They're like Chinese crap controls that you're trying to go through the menus and you're like, what does this even mean? The instructions are all jacked up, but if you can handle all of that terrible software on the device, you can buy like a cheap GoPro, and they work fantastic. It came with all kinds of attachments, so you can put it on a helmet. You can put it on a lapel cam. You can put it on a boom cam, like anything you want.
okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to plug Amazon or anything. Like I have no, I'm not trying to sell action cameras or anything.
Okay,
Although,
you're not into supporting the U.S. intelligence. No?
well, I have Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? Like there's certain content that I want to watch on there for free and stuff, and I
What
get
do you mean for free? If you have it, you're paying
well,
for it.
I know, but I save so much money on shipping because I buy stuff on Amazon. They're so good with shipping things. And they have some stuff that it's very inconvenient to get it anywhere else. So yeah, there's a fleet of totally incompetent truck drivers driving Amazon trucks right now who are making a danger to themselves, all other motorists, cyclists, pedestrians, etc., parking in terrible spots, jumping out of trucks without looking and nearly getting killed constantly. But besides that, it's pretty good. Some stuff you order on Amazon this morning, it shows up this afternoon. It's berserk. No drone deliveries yet, though. What's it like in Belarus?
I don't know. I mean, I'm like on the level of poverty of a homeless person at the moment, so
Well, you
I
ain't
don't
entitled
really.
to jack shit in that case.
Yes, exactly. Like, as I've said, I was fired from my institute like 8 months ago. Now I'm technically unemployed, but
I thought,
realistically, I'm like working as a teacher in a private school.
yeah.
But it's completely unofficial. I pay no taxes, but I also only have 5 hours per week, so I only have enough money to pay my bills
Holy
and to
cripes,
like buy
five
a little
hours a
bit of
week.
food.
What
Yes.
do you do for them for 5 hours a week?
I teach physics to
Just like
7th to 9th grade.
one class for an hour each day?
Yeah, I only work 2 days, like Monday and Wednesday, and
Oh,
it's
I see.
5 hours total. Yeah, and it's literally hours. Like usually we have in schools, like public schools, we have 45 minutes per hour, but here we have full 60 minutes.
I see. So that's a massive resume booster, though, right? I mean, that'll probably pave the way to a full-time job doing the same thing if that's what you want to do.
No, I don't think so. I mean, being
No?
fired from the National Academy of Sciences is not a good point on your resume.
Well, was there some cause for it? Like, why did you get fired?
Well,
Just because
I
you're a
don't
jerk?
exactly
Just because
know.
you're a
I don't
jerk, or because you don't know physics, or like why? Because
know.
you're a quantum electric universe douchebag, or like why did you get fired?
I mean, I would like to think it was political because, again, I've expressed my views
Right, right.
somewhere, not exactly there, but some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
may have listened to it, you know.
Right,
But
right.
in reality, I think the problem was that in November of 2020, our head of the laboratory died, and two other guys died previously in that year. And so we've had basically only like 3 people remaining in the whole laboratory. So the laboratory itself would have been reformed, well, basically destroyed, and the people would be tossed into other places. And so they
Right.
probably was just looking for someone to get rid of because the budgets are limited, etc., etc. And they just found a scapegoat in the form of myself. So I think that's what happened.
Interesting.
Actually.
So now this is weird. I noticed this video here. I mustn't have watched it. I don't remember ever hearing of Beyond the Border. It's as if that one maybe never showed up on my feed. Although you do tend to do premieres at weird times for me because you're in Belarus, perhaps. Of course, I have weird hours too, so I'm not really one to complain. By the way, I'm drinking some hard stuff today, Eugene. This is probably your speed. It's half sun-kissed orange soda and half club soda.
I never understood this name. Why is it called club soda? What is club about it?
That's
like
a good
it hits
point.
you like a club, or you should drink it in a club, or
No, it's because when they first made it, they used to use a club to pressurize the pressure vessel.
to pressurize the skull of the person who makes it, right?
No, to carbonate the water. They'd smash the carbonation into the water with a club.
Mash.
They would smash it and mash it until it was carbonated. They would just smash it and mash it together with a club.
Yeah, because the particles from the skull, they're made of carbons. skull infused soda.
All right, so let's
How
talk about
that.
let's talk
Satanists would pay a fortune for that.
let's talk about entitlement, Eugene. I'll start. I think that Eugene is entitled to 1,000 subscribers so that he can monetize his YouTube channel. He's only got 319, and to all of you viewers out there, if you don't subscribe to Eugene the Philosopher, bad things will happen to you for the rest of the month of Smashtober. Sagittarius A-star might murder you. Or, who knows what could happen? Maybe you'll become made in China. So don't screw around.
Well,
And
we
subscribe to
have
the goddamn
1.5
channel. You sons of...
1.5 billion people made in China, right?
I think their population is now up to 1 trillion, and it's because they've been cooking the books and they've been organ farming. They're getting really good. They're growing a lot of ears on rats and things. So it's a progressive place. It's a progressive place, and Mao would be proud. Hey, that would be a good shirt, huh? Mao would be proud. Have the U.S. flag there and a bunch of bananas to represent the banana republic that it's become since 2016. So,
did you ever notice that the U.S. sounds like U.S.?
You ass? The U.S. sounds like
Yes.
you ass?
Yes.
Yeah. It should
I
be,
think it's kind
the
of
name
cool.
should be changed to the AUSA, AUSA, the allegedly United States of America. Because you can cross a state border and realize that you're in some kind of dystopian hellhole. Like the Pennsylvania-New Jersey border is a prime example. The Pennsylvania-Maryland border is a prime example. The Pennsylvania-New York border is another example. You can hit up West Virginia or Ohio, but any other direction, and you shouldn't have crossed that border.
Speaking about the alternative names for the U.S., like in November, was it 2020, when you've had your allegedly elections? So I've come up with, and I've actually, I think I've posted on Facebook, when this non-voting, non-counting of the votes happened for a few days in a row, or even a whole week, or how many days. I said that you should be called quantum states of America. It's like both Republicans and Democrats won simultaneously.
Why is it that in 1859 we could get the election results in less than 2 days, and in 2021 it takes 3 months to get the results I'm sure everybody that was everything was on the up and up, Eugene. How dare you put forth these conspiracy theories and say alleged elections? This place didn't go completely down the hellhole in 2016, 5 years ago or anything. It totally didn't. Do you know why it went down the hellhole 5 years ago, Eugene? I don't know if we've ever talked about this.
Honestly, I don't think we should talk about this at all because it might take like 5 hours.
That's true.
I think we should go for entitlement thing.
Okay, yeah. So I went on a total rant. What say you regarding entitlement?
It's absolutely okay, but I mean, yeah, regarding politics, we can talk about it whole day straight and not go into any conclusions.
I figured maybe you would want to bring up science entitlement because there's a lot of nonsense about science where people say crap, frankly, like, I followed the science. Or they send you a link, like in an argument in a YouTube comment section. They send you a link and go, see? And then you go, that's not an argument, moron. You just sent a link. Like, did you just send me a link about science that you don't understand? Is that what happened? Because that's what seems to happen constantly. People are like, I Googled what you said and found articles that are anti what you said. Here's one of them. I didn't even read it. I just read the headline and then sent it to you. It proves your point, but I'm such a moron that I sent you a link that I thought proves mine. That's one of the levels of science entitlement. And then other people who make speculation upon speculation upon speculation upon speculation, and they think they're entitled to be a college professor as a result. Cosmology. Infectious disease science.
Yeah, I'm actually, like, I was thinking about this specifically today, that we'll return to the scientific entitlement, but I wish to touch on this subject specifically first.
Whatever you want, man.
I'm okay with, like, people not being too interested in science, like the majority of people, I mean, because...
Well, yeah, because they know nothing about it.
Well, let's be honest, they shouldn't know anything about, well, maybe
pretty much.
A little bit. I mean, you
want to know enough to be able to function in society and so on, right?
Know something. To be honest, why should they? Like, again, the progress of human society from the dawn of man, so to speak, was to increase the division of labor. So we should have people like making food, people making clothes, people making tools, people, doing all kinds of things. And we should have people making science, roughly speaking, like producing knowledge. And it's a completely natural way of doing things and a completely efficient way of doing things. So I don't think that regular farmer should be an expert in astrophysics or even remotely even understand what astrophysics means.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
So ultimately, the problem is that not only this farmer doesn't understand what astrophysics talks about, so he cannot distinguish, or she cannot or they cannot distinguish the results.
Yeah, don't misgender anybody, for God's sakes, man. Exactly. I don't need to be demonetized, okay? Don't be misgendering people that are generalized.
As you see, I'm being very inclusive. So
I appreciate that. Exactly. As I am sure but gendered. I mean, I didn't know if you even... it doesn't come up often that I'm sure but gendered, Eugene.
All right. So what I'm saying is, ultimately, this farmer, only receive whatever comes from this very small segment of society of astrophysics, roughly speaking, right? And whichever group of interests is superior in this small segment of society of sub-society of astrophysics is able to transmit their opinion more efficiently, and the farmer receives this opinion rather than the dissenting opinion, right? So ultimately, we are dealing with the fight of the elites, like the established elites versus counter elites, if you wish, in this small subsegment of society, right? So what we should strive for is not like to control over the whole of the society, but rather to provide the arguments for all the interested groups that support this other group, like to basically draw their power to our side rather than to theirs. So I don't know. It may have sounded very vague. I mean, I've talked in my videos a lot about.
All right, Eugene,
things,
hold
so
on. Let me make you unpack that for a minute. You lost me.
Yeah.
You lost me when you got to our side, because I all I heard was, "You'll never understand the power of the dark side." What side do you mean? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, I assumed by default that we are the counter elite, so to speak. So we are in this sub-segment of astrophysics. We have a random farmer.
You're talking about
Jay,
us. You're talking about you and me. You're talking about you and me personally.
Well, almost like our caricature versions, let's say.
What YouTube viewers think we are.
I don't know what they think we are, but whatever. So my point
don't speculate.
Was that, I don't actually. Like,
well,
I'm like pragmatically saying that the current, let's say, establishment in air quotes in astrophysics, for example, has their own supportive networks. Let's say, grants from the government. Let's say prizes from various committees, like the Nobel Prize Committee is the most prominent one.
CNN,
the support,
Scientific American.
Laboratories. Yes, exactly. Like popular science journals or whatever you call it, media.
Yeah. All scientific journals,
editorial commissions of the journals themselves, etc.
Which consist of college professors largely.
It doesn't matter what it consists of. What matters is there's a lot of power in support of the narrative that is being sold, in air quotes.
Well, there's a lot of people that have their careers propped up on a couple really basic things in physics, and they're cited in 4,000 science papers because of some basic thing in physics.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, in order to compete with all of that, you have to mobilize a comparable amount of force. Actually, there have been a paper relatively recently, and I think you've heard about it, where they've analyzed. I actually didn't actually read it. So I've only read the abstract.
What are you, Ben Davidson?
The classical. Yeah, I'm kind of a Ben Davidson mode here. But the tipping point was about 15%, I think. So when you mobilize at least 15% of power towards yourself, you are being heard finally. So you are now acknowledged as a genuine actor here, right? So unless you mobilize at least this amount of resources with respect to, in comparison to all those resources I've mentioned from the other side, like let's say the gaseous solar model versus liquid solar model, right? Okay. So we need at least 15% of the power, so to speak, in a very vague.
Yeah, to get enough people to even really consider anything and not say, well, that's pseudoscience.
Yes. And I'm not even talking about people per se. I'm talking about even
entire institutions.
Lesser quantifiable thing, which is power, which is sort of like energy in physics, which is basically a meaningless thing, right?
And in some ways, bureaucracy is involved because you got to convince politicians to allocate massive amounts of money because Eugene and I, we want to see probes go over the poles of the sun and so on. And, that's definitely for a different video. We should totally do a video about that, by the way.
Yeah, but I feel like we've moved away from entitlement topic anyways. I don't know. Should we get back to it?
We are certainly entitled to wish for meaningful advancements in science and not a lot of money spent on things that aren't science. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about, making sort of a startup of my own, like coaching of alternative scientists, because
that'd be cool.
I think I think if like someone approaches me with their theory and like asks me, how do I make this popular? How do I promote this? I can actually give them a pretty decent advice.
It could make for a
Uh,
good YouTube channel, certainly, and I would, I would
well,
encourage it.
I'm kind of in my situation. I'm actually hoping it would like give me enough money to at least not die. You know.
Yeah, enough money to not die is nice. Yeah, and I've actually resigned. I guess you're probably not aware of this. I'll actually be out of my lab job by November 10th. I've just resigned for so many reasons that I'll have to make a video just about that probably. I assume they'll not offer any sort of severance or anything like that, and that'll enable me to have no gag order, which means I'll be able to say whatever I want about them. It's not pretty. I'll just...
So what about the entitlement? I think let me actually try to
You're entitled to one thing, Eugene: death. That's pretty much it. The universe is a very violent place when you look at it from a cosmological perspective. You're entitled to death and probably little else.
Yeah, I think so as well. But what do you think about the idea that you'll never die? Imagine this horror continuing.
Could be. I mean, you're definitely entitled to think it. I mean, here's the thing. Even if we cure all diseases and illnesses, even if we cure everything, the life expectancy will still be like 400 years because people are still going to die because of murder, accident, wars, etc. They'll still get struck by lightning and eaten by sharks, even if they're immortal. They won't really be immortal.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I thought about for one of my next videos is like how horrible life is actually.
I used to work in insurance, so that's about actuaries. Actuaries seem to think that the statistical probability will eventually catch up to you. It should take about 400 years once everything is cured. At that point, life insurance will be a more precise business, I would imagine. And I don't think this is all that far in the future either, because the understanding of human biochemistry is just this side of the Stone Age, but it's not going to stay there.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's made in China, Eugene. It's made in China. Did I ever teach you how to say China Trump style? You're entitled to learn.
Did.
Okay.
But I want to steer our conversation to entitlement again because
all right.
you've
please.
announced it. It's your duty actually, but I'm gonna help you for free actually.
Yes,
so,
please. School me, Eugene.
You've started this segment like half an hour ago, or I don't know.
Yeah.
A long time
and we got to
ago,
end the stream pretty soon too. So.
All right, and we were only starting, but you've said that. What is the entitlement in terms of science? And I've like ranted about the elites and counter elites and farmers. But what I really wanted to say, and I actually prefaced it, like I'm gonna start talking about other things, but then I'll return to this. Well, now I'm returning to it.
Well, you're doing a fine job.
Keep my promises, yes. So entitlement in terms of science is that a person who have an education or some other qualifications as a scientist has more say with respect to their respective fields, again a tautology, than other random person who doesn't have these qualifications. So this is the entitlement of scientists. Like, I'm an epidemiologist and you are not, therefore I'm entitled to, like, my opinion is worth like 1,000 of your opinions, Right. This is the entitlement of scientists, and it's rubbish.
It is like, nonsensical.
If you have a formal qualification but you speak rubbish, it's still considered to be more valuable than a person who doesn't have a qualification, yet, I mean, logically his argument is better than yours. And it makes no sense, unfortunately.
Yeah,
yet it is kind of perceived by the society at large, again by those random farmers. And I have nothing against farmers.
I've got a personal example about this, and this isn't to disparage my doctor in any way. A few years ago, I typically only ever go to a doctor to get returned to work, because when you're out of work for a certain number of days, you got to like get a doctor to acknowledge that you're healthy enough to go back to work. And so that's typically the only reason I visit one. And the first time I ever met this guy, and I like this doctor, he's not a dummy or anything. He noticed that I had high blood pressure, and he didn't know anything about cyclists' association with high blood pressure. Your doctor spent a certain amount of time in college. He wrote a very specific paper about a really specific thing, and then he studied the stuff that he studied in the meantime in practice. That doesn't mean that he just knows everything about the human body, and he certainly doesn't know everything about your personal scenario. So this is a thing, there's a lot of people out there who are like consulting Dr. Google, and that's a totally different thing than to what, for example, I as a pro cyclist know about the human body. I have a certain functional knowledge of all sorts of weird inner workings that your average person doesn't. Plus, I started like self-study about infectious diseases back in the late 90s. So when the whole COVID thing struck, I was especially pissed off because the same people that came out of the woodwork around 2016 as, quote, political experts, end quote, came out of the woodwork as infectious disease experts last year and said things like, I just learned how to wash my hands. And then wanted to teach me about infectious diseases. And that pisses me off because, for example, there are cephalosporin antibiotics that are 25, 30 years old that are effective against influenza. Is this not commonly understood information? Apparently not. But it's right in the literature. Like, next time you take a drug and you go, what does this do? Try reading the clinical literature. It's not that hard. Look up the terms you don't know what they mean. You'll be fine. Your doctor has to do the same thing, is my point. Your doctor is not a living physician desk reference. He doesn't have the PDR memorized. So, and of course, before the internet, that's what your doctor did. He would come and see you in the examination room, then he would leave and come back because he would have to like read a book to figure out what was wrong with you.
The jury is out, so to speak.
Yeah, it's it's a normal thing. He's not always going out there to look under a microscope at a cell culture.
I'm not ridiculing. I'm literally like just bringing the analogy, which is valid, like totally valid.
Come
Wait,
again?
I wanted to make some comment, but I already forgot.
Well, hey, do you want to hang out through a break here? I'm going to take like about a 3-minute break and come back and close out the screen. You can stay.
Maybe I'll remember what I wanted to say.
All right, I'm going to step away for a minute, and
Yeah,
I'm
me
gonna play another track here, and then I'll be right back.
Me too.
What's
Yeah,
that?
Let's go for it.
All right, sounds good.
I'm actually here again. FYI.
All right. Yeah, I heard you, Eugene. I'm actually back too. I'm just letting this scroll because allow the viewers' chats to appear on screen.
Okay.
Hopefully nobody's saying something too crazy. One of my favorite comments of the day just came through where Nay B said, "Here's to hotboxing the bathroom."
I've actually remembered at least one of the things I want to mention is that I have a video specifically titled Stories of Medicine, where I talk about how medicine works, and in particular that it never works with an individual. Like when you talked about your doctor or whatever doctor having an education, etc., and they can only judge like the effects of, let's say, possible medication they prescribe to you on like statistical data. Like it helps like 70% of patients, let's say, and in like 5% of patients it causes like horrible side effects.
Yeah.
And so you might be in those 5%,
Yeah,
so,
you might have a weird allergy or something that people don't realize that you have.
Not an individually oriented thing. It's a statistically oriented thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not healing you; it's healing the population. So that's what you need to remember.
Yeah, and
in your case, maybe you should stray away from the medicine if your like body is very special, and like by definition, everybody is super special, but some bodies respond to whatever external factors more closer to average than others. So it's very, 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 I don't know, vague.
When it comes to cyclists, here's an interesting little FYI about bicyclists, right? Some bicyclists, their maximum heart rate is like 220 beats per minute. Others, their maximum heart rate is like 170 beats per minute. That is a massive difference in heart rate. Some riders are efficient at a pedaling cadence of like 100 RPMs. That's sort of the sweet spot. Some riders are more efficient at like 60 RPMs grinding giant gears all the time. Some of this stuff comes down to personal preference and, of course, how you've ridden for years and years. There's all kinds of stuff like what you're just talking about there, completely individual things that are totally unrelatable to whatever the statistical population is. So like Eugene's intelligence is 120 plus, I think he said. Trying to compare Eugene like on an intelligence quotient basis.
Score in terms of number is irrelevant. What is relevant is the percentile, because different IQ tests would give you different scores. What matters is how many people are lower than you in this particular test. That is what the percentile shows.
Yeah, and so what the doctor's treating you for could be a case of a professional soccer player in your gym class in high school. Does that make sense?
I didn't understand what you just said.
So, like, if you imagine the scale of a pro soccer player in your high school gym class playing soccer with the gym class, and then you imagine your doctor trying to treat a pro athlete who he doesn't know is a pro athlete, for example.
You mean a pro soccer player or pro athlete in some other?
Well, any kind. It doesn't really matter.
Well, it actually does. I mean, if you look at power lifters, they look very different from pro soccer players, or I don't know, whatever.
Well, no, the point is, I was making your point, because what you're stating is that they have to use Occam's razor, and they have to assume that most people are complete ignoramuses about clinical medicine. I mean, let's face it. Once you start reading literature and understanding what it means, you've sort of started to head down the road of understanding the science, just please don't send me a link and be like, there you go, case closed. It's like, okay. I like to imagine people, I don't know who the YouTuber was, but I can't take credit for this. A YouTuber said, I like to imagine people that leave comments going like this. This'll get him. The galactic current sheet is creeping up behind you. Oh, noes. Oh, noes, there it is. We've warped straight to the galactic current sheet again, Eugene. Oh, my God.
So I think they... Let me bring a bit of a poetic touch to this. So I think that the big tragedy, and I mean it seriously, is that the lesser you know, the more confident you are, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, again, no offense to farmers, but a regular farmer, actually it's different in today's US, but let's assume like some middle-aged farmer, I mean, from Middle Ages, not middle-aged farmer, going to the doctor, and the doctor says, well, you need to, like, you know, release some blood and you'll be cured, etc. And they do that, and maybe through placebo effect or some whatever shit, they get actually cured, and they, oh, well, everything is okay, the doc cured.
Oh, yeah, I know. The
But
placebo effect.
If you are actually smart and you start reading stuff, and you start reading more stuff, you understand that the doctors themselves have no idea what the fuck is going on, like, even in the population, let alone you, who is like the super unique case.
Listen to this
maybe.
one. I heard an anecdotal report of somebody who was in a dialogue with their doctor, and the doctor did not know what the VAERS is. Are you familiar with the VAERS database? VAERS, I think it is.
Something
Adverse reaction database.
Okay.
Yeah, this person's doctor was not aware of that. So they shared this information. I don't know what the doctor thought of it or anything like that. It's look, people aren't necessarily idiots because they don't yet know something, but they could be. And remember, I say this all the time. There are no stupid questions. Ignorance is the root of all knowledge. There are no stupid questions. But there are certainly stupid people, and plenty of them. Half the population is, by definition, below average intelligence.
Well, this is one, perhaps, and this is the most harmless, I would say, part of stupid people. The most harmful part of stupid people is the ones who think they are intelligent, but in actuality they just, you know, learn something and they think they know better than everyone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly, and it kind of comes back to my point where, like, the more you know, the less you know. So,
like if somebody goes, I'm a cosmologist, and then you start talking about chemistry, and they go, I don't know anything about chemical spectra. You're like, oh, okay. I'll email you about this in the year 65,000. Like well-rounded, there's a thing about well-rounded people. This is why Robitaille predicts that some outsider is going to somehow break through and go, stars are made of condensed matter. And somebody's going to hear and go, oh, what? Ah, yeah. Man, oh man.
No, I don't think it works this way. I think really Robitaille needs some coaching from Eugene the philosopher.
I think he does. And you know, we tried to get him on the channel. He refused.
Okay, he actually refused. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he point out any reasons?
Yeah. The reason was because I put up a video about how I was joking around basically about how I became a libertarian at age 5 when I got enrolled in kindergarten because I learned to read at age 3 so I wouldn't have to go to school. And, you know, it was basically just, I wasn't even like citing a political affiliation because I've never had one. And he said, because I put up a political rant or something. He didn't want to be on the channel. And I said, dude, if you would have stayed in your lane, this email wouldn't exist. So I whatever.
Well, he kind of sucked, I would say. I'm on your side, absolutely. And I'm not saying this because I'm on your channel. I would as equally say.
No, you
fuck
call me.
if-
You call me when I screw up. Like that's part of the
Yeah,
reason why
exactly.
I can tolerate you, because you're not an
I mean,
idiot, and you also call me on my BS when there's some, like with the two north magnetic poles. I should take a moment to explain that. I was looking at a map that has two iso magnetohydrodynamic lines there, and looking at those and going, those are the poles. That's why I was saying that for months. Look, there's two magnetic poles there. There wasn't two magnetic poles there. There were two spots where there was like a homogeneous round portion of the field there. But the North Pole was just in basically the same, in almost exactly the same spot, probably that whole time. And that's why we did a video about it called Geomagnetic Mayhem. Which, of course, for you viewers, that featured Eugene. Perhaps you remember that. We talked about the difference between the geomagnetic pole and the magnetic pole, which is very, very important for people to understand. I think few might.
Yeah, well, again, returning to Robitaille, firstly, I think it was, well, maybe not a mistake, but the way he argumented it was definitely a mistake.
It was more complicated than that.
I respect his choice.
There was an ongoing email conversation, and he recommended we keep in touch, and I've sent him a few emails since then too. But we talked on the phone for a bit, and we're cool. He was just concerned that there's too much politics on the channel, and I think he still even talked about trying to help us with our channel, if I remember correctly. But there's some stuff that we talked about in the email that I can't share for various different reasons. And yeah, but that guy gets a complete and total thumbs up. I mean, I see no fails at all. And hilarious stories from you too. Like, oh man,
Let
that
me
one
clarify
story.
my point. When I said that he sucked, I meant that if he genuinely disagreed with you, with participating with you just because of your political position, that's
It wasn't because of the position. It was because of the fact that there was anything political, period. He was like, I'm only interested in science.
From my moral point of view, I underline this, it's a bad choice. But I respect his choice, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
More overwhelming moral point of view, which is any person has freedom of association. So if you don't want to participate in anything, you shouldn't. You have a choice, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a libertarian maxim, you know.
I look at it like this, man.
If you don't want to associate with someone, you have a right not to, and so yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
He can't make the paper The Sun on Trial go away no matter what he does. The paper exists. So, you know what I mean? His contribution to the understanding of spectra, for example, it's pretty much immortal already. It's no matter how many people want him dead, the paper will not vanish. I've personally published it on our servers and so on. It's all over the place. It's not going anywhere. Everybody should have a paper copy on their wall.
But you see, if you read today some papers from, let's say, even late 19th century,
and he's the nicest guy in history, I think. By the way, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met I've ever talked to in my entire life. I never met him in person, only talked to him on the phone. He's pretty epic. He lowered my blood pressure in 5 seconds. So I don't know what he did, but
okay. Well, I've met him at least twice, maybe more. I don't remember exactly. Maybe 3, or maybe even 4 times. 2 times, that's for sure. one time I don't know if I can share this actually. Like at EU 2015, we were in Phoenix. We went to Hooters actually. If you know. Well, it's not like me and him.
Oh
It was
my
me,
gosh.
him, Steve Crothers, Susan Sherratt,
I want to make a cartoon of that. Let's make a
Neil
cartoon of that.
Thompson was there.
Oh
And
jeez.
like Owen Sanders was there. David, I think Garcia was there from Argentina, and like we were like a pack of almost 10 people. Or
Wall
even
Thornhill, the ghost of Aleister Crowley.
I don't think Wall was there. No.
No.
Talbot wasn't there as well, but well, there were roughly 10 people. I actually have even a photo on Facebook. Maybe I can find it.
Oh my
But
gosh,
anyway,
that's amazing.
whatever. My point was, I've met him quite a bit, and as I told you, like.
And you visited him in
one of
Ohio.
his-
You went
one of
corn
his-
picking with him, right? You went corn picking. You went through a corn maze, and you posed on a hay bale together in speedos.
I actually went to Michigan in
Did you?
2019. Yeah, and I've messaged him by email, but by that time he already started ignoring me. I
Is
think.
that the only time you visited a part of the U.S. besides near the coast, or what other parts of the U.S. did you go to besides Michigan?
Is Phoenix near the coast? I don't think so.
No, not really. Not
I've
at all.
been to Phoenix 2 times.
It's only a
I've been to
6-hour
Albuquerque
drive. No, it's probably even
times.
more than that. Phoenix and where?
So, Albuquerque.
Oh, okay.
So
Huh.
that's actually the majority of times I've been to the U.S. were off the coast.
That stands to reason. A lot of astronomers like to hang out there.
Yeah. Anyways, what I was getting at is that maybe we should again steer towards other forms of entitlement other than scientific entitlement.
Yeah, but we should keep it to about 8 more minutes because I am out of fuel, man. But yeah, let's
do you mean,
let's go on.
You mean your booze is all over?
No, man, I'm drinking ginger ale. I'm drinking ginger ale and club soda here. That's mixed drinks, the hard stuff. Look, it's Canada Dry Bold. Bold.
Well, you should have prepared more solidly to your stream.
Well,
That's why
I have
was-
I have this giant bottle of early times Kentucky whiskey. See,
So
it's
what's
almost
the problem?
it's almost entirely full. See that?
I think we can stream for like 3 hours more then.
We could, but I'm not drinking any of that.
Why
Nope.
not?
Not feeling up to it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if I was your audience, I would say, "Fuck you, Dan." What the fuck? I mean,
The audience
you
can do
have the fuel. You just refuse to take it.
All right,
What the
God
fuck?
damn it. All right, everybody do a shot now for smAshtober or
I would actually
Eugene
right
dies. Eugene gets abducted by the KGB, whatever that's called now, the NSF, and gets strapped to a drone.
It's actually called KGB here, believe it or not.
All right, so here's my shot, everybody. This is half Canada Dry Bold and half club soda. I seriously wonder why it's called club soda. Maybe because it comes out of the gun it comes out of the soda gun, you know, like the old school style soda fountain. You ever see those?
Now you're gonna be
It's got like push
clubbed to the
buttons.
skull.
Anyway, everybody do a shot, or Eugene gets cast into an ever-deepening and darkening abyss of a dog turd rain and Birkeland currents, full of Birkeland currents and dog turds, ever deepening and darkening. Eugene, do you guys celebrate Halloween in Minsk? Is it like the same date?
Kind of.
All Saints Day and then All Souls Day.
Like the youth does, you know,
mhm.
kind of the westernized youth, so to speak.
So it's not sort of as like in the U.S. Entire workplaces dress up for Halloween like on a day and stuff. It's berserk. I mean, I'm not faulting them for it. They can do what they want. But like, I don't usually dress up for Halloween these days. I just don't care. I don't have time. Like, I mean, I've got costumes I can throw together. I've got a dress that I can wear and things. Like, I've got all kinds of bizarre. Like, I have Swiss Alpenflage that I can dress up as a Swiss soldier. I don't have a K-31, but you know, what are you gonna do? What about you? Like, you don't like you're too old now. You don't celebrate Halloween anymore.
I never did, to be honest. I think. It's
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, even when I was like 16, I was already too old for this shit.
Well, you're only entitled to death, death, death. To quote James Hetfield, death, 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 death.
Metal militia.
Darkness imprisoning Eugene. All that he sees, KGB horror. He cannot live. He cannot die. What else about entitlement? What about when the store shelves are empty and you're
two major ideas to discuss.
all right?
One is kind of safe on this channel. I think is like socialistic entitlement.
Okay, right.
And the other is the toilet paper.
You're like entitled for the government to give you things, in the one, and the other one is you're entitled. You're
gender entitlement.
You're
is
entitled
when women
to wipe your ass.
take men. Yeah, which is much unsafer.
Eugene,
even on this channel.
Did you know that grocery store organizations are entitled to not stock their shelves with the name brand stuff that people usually buy, and then mark up their store brand for a even more massive markup, for even more massive profit margin than they normally have? That way, people buy the store brand, and when the shortage is over in many cases, then they just restock the name brand again, and everything's back to normal. You can buy whatever kind you like. That's an actual thing. It's like documented, understood tactic of some unscrupulous supermarkets.
If they are privately owned, I have nothing against it. Like you
Yeah.
do what you
Yeah.
wish.
They're allowed. But it helps if people explain this too, because then you just go, I just won't buy any. I'll buy the New York Times to wipe my hindquarters with. Eugene, have you heard about the Second Amendment?
Yeah, it's the one that allows you to have guns.
Ah, yes, but
Or is it
since
the
it
one
was
about freedom of
passed.
speech? I'm kind of
Well,
confused a little.
yeah, there's a lot of confusion. You see, since the Second Amendment was passed, it always limited what kind of people can buy guns and what kind of guns people can buy. You see, when I was your age, we used to make guns out of a stone lathe. We'd use a stone lathe to make guns, and we didn't have all of these newfangled 1911 Colt 45s and other repeating firearms and things.
And 9/11.
Anyway, it's not like, Eugene, you can't just go out and buy a cannon, because if you did, the government would scramble F-15s and launch nuclear weapons. So I don't know if you knew that or not. I figured I'd cover it. It's basically verbatim of what Biden said a couple months ago. So clearly that's. I mean, I'm no constitutional scholar though, but maybe I'll provide a link for everybody to read. Maybe a transcript.
Is transcript a new gender?
Have you heard about this Brandon fellow? Because I was
Wait. I want
I
to
was
comment
going to
on what you said previously.
ask you if you think we
Because
should encourage Brandon as much as everybody else seems to be encouraging
wait,
Brandon.
wait for
I
that.
think he might
Because
already have enough encouragement, if you know what I
don't
mean.
forget.
Wait, what?
When
Bill,
you
did you
said
say Bill Gates now? This is already
no,
going to be demonetized. What's that?
I think when you say whatever things after 30 minutes, it doesn't count. But whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, don't be a vacuole, okay? Don't be a vacuole.
What I've wanted to say is that when you said Second Amendment or First Amendment or whatever has
Yes,
been
this.
passed, I wanted to highlight that when you say Mr. X have passed,
Since it was passed.
it kind of died, you know? So it's kind of ambiguous. Kind of passed away.
Yeah, since it
The Second Amendment passed away.
since it passed into non-existence.
Yeah, we've had Chicago and Baltimore and
Yeah, and Maryland and New York, and don't forget California.
California, San Francisco.
Did you hear about the Did you hear about the banning of they're entitled to ban all small gasoline engines. So lawnmowers, weed whackers, chainsaws, hedge trimmers. Nope, none of those, Eugene. None of those.
Let's ban them.
They gotta be electric. So no gas leaf blowers, no ATVs, no like off road. Only road. For some reason, you can only ride motorcycles that are roadworthy or something. So I think they might be self-destructing. It seems like a social experiment. Let us know, viewers, how you think that's going to go. I mean, so anyway, seriously, I don't really have that much time to spend on the internet and really worry about finding out. Like, do I really want to go and vet who this Brandon fellow is? I'm sure he's a fine young lad, right? He's probably a stud. I mean, he's probably a hunk. And I think that all hunks like Brandon should be. And I'm not just taking my clothes off or anything here, but so yeah, if you can shed any light, Eugene, as to who this Brandon guy is. I thought it was the guy that won the NASCAR race like the weekend before last, but it couldn't be that guy, because why would everybody be wishing him well after he'd already won the race? I mean, shouldn't they be going like, "Good job, Brandon," or like, "Way to go, Brandon," or "I want to go down on you today, Brandon," or "Brandon, are you into circle jerks with Electric Universe people, Brandon?" Or something like that. Not like, "Let's go, Brandon." I mean, what are they, wishing him luck for the next week? He just won. Save a little bit of your encouragement for other drivers. You just got to chant and chant like a raving crowd of... like a raving cloud of... like a clouded rain of lunatics.
Electrons.
Like a Birkeland current stretching from Jupiter to your back door and opening it, even though it's made of aluminum, Eugene.
The sense of the doors. I'm a backdoor man.
Oh, and he brought it right back to homosexuality. I appreciate that. Should we talk about how I'm entitled to be sherbet gendered? I think maybe that should be shoved in here, since, I mean, we're going longer than I wanted to, but I'm having so much fun that I just want to keep going.
Well, I'm longer than many people would
Oh
like.
shit! Now he's like making dick jokes and stuff, folks. This is the
exactly.
best.
But it's
All right,
because
so-
you interrupted my joke about Bandon.
Oh, I'm
Because
sorry. I didn't.
Joe
You
might
have a
say,
dry.
Let's go abandon assault rifles. Let's go abandon free farming. Let's go abandon private schools. Let's go abandon.
No, let's abandon this joke, because you're still not telling us who this Brandon chap is. Like, do you have a photograph of him, like maybe oiled up?
Well, I just told you that the Republican Brandon is the Democratic Bandon. It's the same person, but in a profile.
Oh, he's like a double agent,
Yes.
like a double agent politician.
Agent man.
But don't you-
Evo.
Everybody
You don't
wants to see. Everybody wants to see what this Brandon guy looks like, though. I mean, can we get him on camera or something? Like, I mean, I just...
Only in prison camera, probably.
Oh, man. I'll bet... anyway, people are just, like, really into this Brandon guy. I mean, I don't really know who it is. I think it would be interesting to... Maybe I'll do a whole video about this guy, Brandon. I'll do, like, a biographical... I'll be like, this is where he came from. And this is where he's going. And this is what's spiraling the drain, like a giant shitty log in your toilet. Stuff like that.
We still haven't talked about the socialistic entitlement and female entitlement.
Well, we certainly mentioned...
Just mentioning.
Do we really have to go into that, though, Eugene? Aren't we entitled to...
It's your call. It's your channel.
We did do a whole video about socialism. So we can't do anything.
We didn't make any videos about female entitlement, though. You might get legit banned for that.
Well, yeah, I don't even want to touch on it because
lose
basically
like 80% of your subscribers.
we have a lot of women that watch the channel, Eugene, like for real. And there are enough. But wait, don't. Seriously though, do you know who the Brandon guy is? It's not that race car driver, is it? It's somebody.
Dude,
is somebody just playing a trick on me here?
What the fuck are you trying to show me?
Is somebody playing a trick on me here or something about this Brandon fellow? Because
I'm actually kind of tired of you ruminating on it because it's really silly. Like it's getting old by the second. Like it's already died of, I don't know, old age.
To your bleak sense of humor, yeah.
I've said abandon, so you would shut up, but you wouldn't. I don't know why. I mean, it's really old, dude. It's like 2 weeks old already.
All right.
Everyone knows it.
So back to the viewers, by the way. I don't mind when viewers critique me or guests.
Well, actually,
I'm certainly more critical of myself than Eugene is.
I'm sorry. The man said Brandon Lee, maybe, which makes sense because Alec Baldwin is a Brandon Lee reversed. It's like an inverse Brandon
Oh, for
Lee.
God's sakes. Is it really?
Yeah.
I think doesn't that mean that stars are electric, Eugene?
I think so.
Everything is connected, including
exactly. So
Hillary
Alec
Clinton's
Baldwin
lawyer and Alec Baldwin's.
Fucktard is proof of the electric sun.
I think so. Did you get that from a Suspicious Observers video, or?
I've actually been reading some astrological charts.
Putting the ass in astrological. I get it.
Been sitting on my tower of power and thinking about things, and
I heard there was some stuff going on with Don Scott, like he's kind of the salami between Ben and Kat, like Ben and Kat are the bread and Don Scott's the salami, if you know what I mean. What?
You're okay.
Don't you want to go camping and learn how to prep, Eugene? I heard it's electric.
I would prefer to be alone and drink my booze. That would be my perfect situation. Yeah. That's wrong. One thing that is missing in my life at the moment is a crow.
Oh, I was gonna say crack, but
no.
Son of a bitch.
Well, no. I was thinking about getting a cat, but a cat is too silly and simple.
What about goldfish? Goldfish are pretty sweet.
No. I want a crow.
A crow?
Yes, it's gonna be my pet.
Oh, dude, yeah, get a crow. 100% get a crow.
Silly American black crows. But,
Yo, they can be taught how to talk. It's one of the smartest birds in the whole world. It's second only to the raven, arguably.
Crows are as smart as chimpanzees, roughly. They're much smarter than cats.
Did you ever see the video of the crow snowboarding?
Yes, I think I've actually sent it to you in the first place.
Oh, I saw it like 10 years ago before I even knew you existed. I saw it on like Tosh.0, I think, in like 2005. Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, What else are we entitled to talk about? I'll go on forever.
Well, we still haven't touched on socialistic entitlement and female entitlement, but we may never touch on this because it's a touch. You see what I did that? Drum roll.
What about, are we entitled to refer to this star here as our star? That's one of my favorite things. People say that all the time. Take a look at our star. They're like, I'm like, do you have a problem with ownership? What the hell are you talking about, our star? If you think you own that thing, you are jacked in the brain.
There was actually a story of one girl or woman, whatever, or, they from Spain 10 years ago, roughly, and she tried to claim the sun as her or their.
She married the sun, right?
No, as their property, because according to the laws, it was unclaimed and whatever. I don't know how it ended, but whatever. There was an attempt, at least.
I guess you can buy a star too, right? You can name
yes.
one for a certain amount of money or something.
Services like that, but it's a scam.
I want to name a Blazar. So it's just some weird catalog that's just like, they're like, we'll put your thing in our catalog here. It's totally meaningless.
No, unfortunately, it's a scam.
It's even more of a scam than that? Okay.
Yeah, it's even more of a scam than general relativity, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Yes. Oh, MGTOW shorts. Damn. I see you have a red pill people in your chat.
Oh yeah, I should have their chat on the thing.
Well, I'm a MGTOW, so MGTOW shorts is a bit shorter than I am, if you know what I mean, but it's still MGTOW. You know what MGTOW means?
I have no idea.
Men going their own way.
Ah. Don't be scared of women. If you worked in my workplace, you'd be scared of women. There are lots of incompetent ones doing a lot of incompetent things, I'll bet right at this exact moment.
I'm not scared of women. I'm disappointed by them. That's my position at the moment.
Any reason? Bad GF?
Brain, I guess.
Brain?
Yeah.
You're disappointed because brain?
No, because I have a brain.
Oh, I thought you were talking about how women line up in the middle of the bell curve on intelligence.
Look, all the good women are taken already. That's a fact. And therefore...
Yeah, but they'll get untaken.
No, they wouldn't.
Some of them will.
Good, they would stay in relationships.
Maybe, but people crash their skis into poles and die, and then
it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or I don't know how to call it, but good women choose good men and stick to them.
Not
forever.
Necessarily.
Or what you're left with is bad women who cannot keep a man, who cannot, whatever. Well,
there's some of that, but it's not the entire.
Like this Luke, Leia, and Han in this cesspool on the Death Star.
You mean like where you kiss your sister on the mouth?
Well, your sister is not necessarily a bad woman.
But Leia is necessarily Luke's sister.
She is, actually. Okay, well, it's kind of sideways.
Anyway, I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, I don't know either.
All right, so what else? Should we call this thing a day here?
Okay. Well, we can either discuss socialistic entitlement and female entitlement, or we can call it a day. So we've already discussed scientific entitlement. That was one of the 3 things I've had on my table. And
okay.
If we ignore the 2 others, I'm okay with that.
All right, we can do 5 minutes. We can do 5 minutes on each, or try to. Is that cool?
If you are ready to have your channel banned, then we are.
Oh, no, then I don't want to do it.
Let's wrap it up.
All right, that sounds good. So if you want to make a video about that and put it on your channel before it reaches 1,000 subs, let me know.
I already did. I've already
Did you?
have plenty of videos about gender dynamics, and nobody cares about me because I'm so small, so I can say whatever I want.
I can tell a personal story about how I'm sherbet gendered, and that's not going to cause me to get banned because that's just a personal story. Yeah, you don't know about my sherbet gender? I'm sherbet gendered.
I think that would be a cool story to end your video, so I'll just mute myself and let you speak, and then
okay.
We'll
yeah,
farewell.
I don't think I've explained to you my sherbet gender, so I'll explain it briefly. So yes, I'm sherbet gendered. You may have heard of many different genders, but I'm sherbet gendered, and what that ultimately means is that I'm like a thing of rainbow sherbet. My gender is like just based on mood and all kinds of things. I could be like, for example, one of the things that could happen is I could be envious, like the green sherbet of lime sherbet, right? I could be having an envious day, and my gender that day could be envy, and my sherbet that day could be lime. There you go, sherbet gendered. Other days, I could be blue and sad. I could be like a blueberry organic smoothie sherbet or something like that, right? Now, make sure you don't get your frozen yogurt and sherbet mixed up, because it's very important to understand the difference. And please don't attempt to discriminate against me because of my sherbet gender. Other days, who knows? I might be Protestant, or maybe I'm celebrating Halloween in earnest. Maybe I've dressed up as a pumpkin, in which case I need to be orange sherbet because it matches my outfits. So that's just a little bit on sherbet gender. Yeah, it's possible to be Halloween gender. You could be Eiffel Tower gender. You could be in love with the Eiffel Tower. So yeah, like, don't let yourself have any kind of limitations of sanity or rationale or anything like that. It's overrated. So yeah, I mean, and sherbet gender is the best because, I could be like chewy and soft and effeminate all day. In which case, I could be like pink bubblegum sherbet. Who knows? I mean, we're actually even working on some recipes here at the Smash Bunker to make some sauerkraut flavored sherbet. Sauerkraut sherbet with real sauerkraut, of course. Also, we're going to be making some gravy sherbet. I bet you didn't know gravy can be made into sherbet. Little known fact, milk is one of the main ingredients in sherbet. So that's just a little bit, it's very fortified, okay? It's nothing like Italian ice. Don't get them mixed up. Sherbet, your latest gender. We can't wait until we see it on an official list, and maybe we can get sherbet gender put on our driver's license. I mean, here in Pennsylvania, thanks to governors like Tom Wolf, we've got all the latitude that we need to do this. So, yet a little personal story about my sherbet gender status. And it's a shame being discriminated against because of such things. But we're hoping that the U.S. will get even more progressive than it already is, and maybe it'll kick a little bit of cash our way. So I guess with that, I'll close out this stream, and in celebration of all of our viewers. I think Eugene is suffering from hearing that story about my gender.
Yeah, I just feel like a mortifying itch to say that you're impersonating Andy Kaufman. It's like Andy Kaufman, the American comedian.
I mean, I know who it is vaguely, but he's not somebody whose work I'm all that familiar with, honestly.
You should definitely look up Andy Kaufman. I've even
There's a couple movies about that guy, right?
Yes, Man on the Moon in particular with
Jim
Carrey.
Yeah. I'm exposing what a sheltered youth I am here.
It's a beautiful beautiful movie with soundtrack from REM, with the title track "Man on the Moon," which is a fucking beautiful song. So just watch this movie, Man on the Moon.
REM,
or watch performances of Andy Kaufman, but he's literally like the voice is indistinguishable from what you did right there.
Oh really? Oh really?
So let's end it on this. Like, watch Man on the Moon. It's really cool. I've played this song myself like more than 100 times, and yeah.
We'll put that movie on their list. I know it's very good.
Man on the Moon, it's called.
Yeah. We'll check that out. I'll make SMASH staff. I'll unmanacle her from the wall of the basement for a moment so she can cast that to the television.
Regret it. It's a really cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Recommend it.
It is good. And thanks for recommending movies. It's very easy to get in a rut and we keep watching movies of the same genre or something like that. It's very easy to get in a movie rut.
And it's like biographical, it's not like fictional. Well, not entirely. Obviously, there's some things that are dramatized, but yeah, mostly it's biographical.
Right. All right, so I'm going to play one more track and close this thing out. Thanks for joining us, Eugene. Thanks for joining us, viewers. My voice is shot. It's been a delight. Do a shot for all y'all folks. Cheers. This is, again, Canada Dry and Club Soda. You use your imagination for whatever you're doing this with. We'll see you next week for a similar stream, maybe. Maybe it'll be a completely different stream. Who knows? I never got to look up the stock price of Facebook today. But
two-thirds of Entitlement to go through, so invite me some more.
Yeah, perhaps.
So far, goodbye, folks. I wish you luck.
Yeah, some people are needing some luck right now.
Like a WrestleMania type of, exit. Yeah. Goodbye, folks. Goodbye. The stream?
Still streaming, bud.
Okay.
Cheers.